See, what I meant by the last post that I wrote, it seemed like that Trump is doing a lot for black people, right? He building up all these monuments. He got black people making them feel like that they are finally going to get ahead. You know, it's like he's making black people feel liberated. But at the same time, he's not really doing nothing for black people. And you got all these black celebrities and political leaders right now that is saying that Trump is doing right by the black people. But if you look at what he is doing for black people, he really isn't doing anything. Like, we don't need another monument built. We don't need another history statues built on people that we wasn't even here to live to see exist. We don't need no more monuments or no more statues of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, and we don't give a fuck about them people no more. Them people been dead and gone years ago. We need to what needs to be done is that black people really need to be liberated. They need to be shown and they need to be told who they are, why they are here, and what is really going on. It's like everything that these political leaders have always been doing to black people is that they have been using the past and they have been bringing up the past and drilling the past in our head. And then when they drill the past in our head and everything that we have went through, it's like they give us little teeny crumbs to make it feel like that we is coming up when actually we isn't doing anything, because the same thing that was going on in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, it still is going on in year 2025. Just because you build a garden up with all these old black civil rights leaders and you build statues up, that's not doing shit for black people. Just because you have released some black inmates that was in prison, that was already unlawfully in prison, and that was basically innocent, now that you're doing these things, it's making black people feel like that they are doing something, that they are getting ahead, when really all you're doing is setting them up to make them feel like that you are the one that is going to give the black people the freedom and the liberation that they need, when the whole time you ain't doing nothing but feeding them chump change and feeding them dog shit. And they don't know, because they looking at the past and thinking that they are coming up. When if they look at the now, they will see that they are still in the past and there's nothing is getting done. And the only thing that you was doing is feeding them breadcrumbs. And the only reason why black people feel this way about what's going on, because black people really don't have a real history. They really don't have real knowledge and wisdom of who they really are. Because if black people really understood who they really are as a being, not just as a human being, not just living here in America, if black people really knew their history, their deep core history, none of this shit that these leaders can do for us. Because the first thing we would say is we don't want no more. It's like I just feel like the people that is in this country, the people that is on this planet that really need to be awakened, that really need to be woke, that really need to learn who they are are the most ignorant ones. Like the ones that really don't know who they are, the ones that really don't care to know who they are, the ones that's not really interested. It's really not a big thing for them to even know, right? But the ones that really need to know who they are, the ones that really need to know their history, their background, where they are, who they are, the beings that they really is, they are the main ones that really, really, really don't give a fuck. But the ones that really don't need to care, the ones that really don't have to care, they are the ones that is in search of their own history. And then when they find out that they really don't have history, they look up everybody else's history. And then when they look up everybody else's history, then they're going to realize they got more knowledge than the ones that's supposed to be seeking the knowledge. And then what they do is that they use their knowledge and their wisdom and their power and their education on the ones that should be knowing what they knowing. And it's like I said, if people was to really understand who they are, not just black people, but if people was to really understand who, because to be real honest with you, white people also has a history too. And I don't know if white people, because I really don't talk to white people that much, but white people have a very deep history. And if white people was to really sit down and understand who they are, why they are here and where they come from and why they was created and why things are the way that they are, this world will probably be a better place if every race and ethnic background and culture and nation, if we all was to just sit back and learn exactly who we really are, who we are as a being, why we are here, and why we were created to be here. If we was to just all learn and research our own history, our own nations, our own background, our own culture, and if we was to sit back and research everybody else's culture, we would get a better understanding of why we are here, why we are so different, why we are so divided, and why things are the way that they are. This world would be such a better place because we would live in an earth that everybody is different and we don't have to get along, but we respect one another. And the fact that we are all living in this earth, the reason why we don't respect one another, the reason why we don't know, because we were programmed and learned and brainwashed to think that one culture is better than the other, one race is better than the other, one life is better than the other. And it's not like that, because if you look at each and every individual culture and nation and individuality, everybody got something special and different in them. It's up to us to use our special and our differentness, and then we can come up and see how we can make things better. But as long as we are divided, it's going to keep this earth divided, and that is the main thing that they want. They just don't want division within the black race itself, even though that's the most important. But they want division, and you got Koreans that don't get along with Chinese. You got, it's division all over the world. Now, what if we was to take our differences and put it aside and learn who we are and learn each other, and we can actually take our differences and our different powers that we have as a group and put it together. It ain't no telling what we could do as human beings on this earth. But they got us programmed and brainwashed exactly the way that they have it. And until we wake up and learn and understand and know, then we are going to die being a total division of a wasteland.